Hey guys, this is Joseph Evans, author of The Secret Sequence, The Phoenix Prophecy, The Ember Effect, Soulbound, The Secret of Rain, and The Last Goodbye. Today I'm going to be showing you how to begin writing a story using the brand new Limelight art style. I do also have start here tutorials for both ink and classic, so if you want to use either of those art styles, have a look at the description below and you'll find the correct links to watch either of those ones. If all this talk of different art styles means nothing to you and is just confusing things for you, then don't worry, you're in the right place. Okay, let's get straight to it. The first thing you're going to want to do is click this new story button right here, and you'll be asked to give your story a name. Now, I would recommend that you know exactly what you want your story to be named at this stage, because if you call it one thing here, then change your mind later, the URL of your story up here will always have the original name in it, which is highly irritating. I actually made this mistake with the Phoenix Prophecy, and it was really annoying to see a different name up there every time I was writing it. I'm going to call this one Joe's Limelight Tutorial. Then click Create, and you'll be presented with the homepage of your new story, where you can access everything like characters, clothes, and the scripts for each chapter. The first thing we should do is make some characters, so click this Characters button here, and this is where you'll be able to select the art style that you want to use. By default, the new Limelight style is automatically selected for you, but if you click on this drop-down menu, you can select Ink and Classic, and you can see examples of both. Since Limelight is brand new for 2017, it does look the most impressive, and I would recommend it if you want your story to look like Pretty Little Liars and Clueless. However, because it's so new, it also doesn't have a huge selection of clothing just yet. If you want a lot of clothes to choose from, and don't mind a more comic book look to your characters, I would choose Ink. Like I said earlier, if you do want to use Ink or Classic, then you'll find the links to those start here guides in the description below. So I'm going to leave this selected on Limelight and press Use this style. And now we're presented with this screen where we can choose from a host of preset character designs and give them a name. Don't worry too much at this stage about what they look like. Every one of these can be fully customized on the next screen. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to create some characters from my Secret Sequence universe. So I'll click on Charlie here, and I'm going to rename him to Secri. Now, it doesn't matter if you enter these names in lowercase or uppercase because it automatically converts them all to uppercase anyway. Then I click Create and Save, and here is where we're given the option to customize. I think the short shaggy hairstyle would be closest to what I imagine Secri's hair would look like, and in the books I describe it as being sandy coloured, so I think this light brown here would be best. I'm not going to waste your time going through the rest of these customizations because I'm sure you get the idea how it works. It's really fun doing this, so take your time and enjoy it, and when you're ready, click Save Changes down the bottom, and then you can go ahead and create another character. I'm going to create Aya, who is the other main character from the Secret Sequence, and since I've already shown you how to do this, I'll fast forward. Now that I have two characters, I'm ready to go, so I'm going to click back to Joe's Limelight tutorial, then I'm going to click this new episode button here, which is where the complicated stuff begins. Okay, so the first thing you'll probably notice is that there's already a little bit of text in your script. This is a blank screen that says to be continued, and you'll most likely want to keep that there at the end of each chapter. So let's move it down and make some room by simply hitting the return key a few times at the beginning. You're probably also going to want to have a chapter title screen, so you can copy and paste this and simply change the words to say something like Chapter 1, the tutorial begins. The next thing we need to do is have a background for our characters to interact on. At the top of the screen, you'll see a tab that says Art Catalog. Now, before you click on it, I would recommend right-clicking or control-clicking if you're on a Mac and selecting Open Link in New Tab. Because if you left-click on it, it's going to open it in your current browser tab and you lose what you've done so far. So go over to the Art Catalog, and you'll see that there are hundreds of beautifully illustrated backgrounds that have been made by episode for you to use. I'd like to have my first scene happen in a street somewhere, so I'm going to go right back up to the top here, and this drop-down menu that says Tag All, if you click on that, you can see all these different categories of places. So if I click on Street here, I can see all the available street backgrounds. Now this one looks quite cool, so to use this in my story, what I need to do is highlight the text here and copy and paste it into my script. If you click on the image, all that will happen is it will expand it so you can see it more zoomed in. So once I've copied that, go back to my script and paste it in right here. And now we're going to want to have our characters enter the scene. Let's say I want to have Sekri enter first. To do this, I need to write the @ symbol, then my character's name, so Sekri in all capital letters, then enters from left to screen left. Okay, let me explain what's happening here. The @ symbol needs to be written whenever you're telling a character to do something. This distinguishes it as an action as opposed to some dialogue. The character's name has to be written directly after the @ symbol with no space in between, and it has to be written in all uppercase. This is really important. If you write any of those letters in lowercase, it will give you an error. The enters from left command means that the character will enter the scene from the left hand side of the screen, and to screen left dictates where the character will end up standing once they've entered the scene. There are 5 main preset positions to choose from here: screen left, up screen left, screen center, up screen right, and screen right. Another thing to be careful of here is the way you word this sentence. A lot of people make the easy mistake of either typing these words in the incorrect order or adding the word the into it. I often see people type in enters from screen left to left, which won't work, and enters from the left to screen left, which also won't work. One thing you'll learn as you go is that the script editor is absolutely unforgiving, and any spelling mistake, typo, or mixed up command will give you an error. If you do get an error at any point, the most likely cause is something like this. So I will stress that you look very closely at the order of the words in the commands that I use in these videos and copy them exactly as they are on my screen. Okay, let's just have a quick look at what that looks like. Great stuff. Now, if I want Aya to walk into the scene from the other side, I should write @Aya enters from right to screen right. And let's see what that looks like. Excellent. Time for them to have a conversation, I think. So to make a character talk, write their name in all uppercase, so just like this, but with no @ symbol this time. And underneath the character's name, we can write exactly what we want them to say. So I'm going to have Sekri say something like this. Wanna come with me to the Broken Motion gig tonight, Aya? And then I'll have Aya reply with, are you serious? And then to have another speech bubble coming from the same character immediately afterwards, we just write another line of dialogue directly beneath it. So I'm going to write, I love the Broken Motion. Then I'll have Sekri say, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, let's see what that looks like now. So the speech bubbles are working great, but the characters are just standing there still. This is where animations come into play. If you go over to the right hand side of the screen, you'll see your characters' names listed under the Behaviours by Character heading. And if you click on the plus symbol next to one of those characters' names, you'll see a full list of all available animations for that character. There are loads to choose from, all listed alphabetically, and a large portion of them are ones which make it look like they're talking. All you have to do is scroll down to the letter T, and you can see here there are lots with the word talk in front of them. Now we can kind of get an idea what these will look like from the names themselves, but there's really no need to guess, because if you click on one of these eye symbols right next to them, it'll show you exactly what those animations look like. Now I want Sekri to look happy when he's inviting Aya to the gig, so I'm going to preview this talk excited happy one here. It looks great, but it's a little too animated for what I had in mind. Let's try something else. There's another one called Talk Agree Happy. Okay, that's much better. Now to close this, all you need to do is click this blue X, and let's go ahead and add that in. So to have Sekri perform this action whilst the speech bubble is displayed, all we need to do is put a space next to his name, right here, then write the animation name in brackets. So it's Talk Agree Happy. Instead of typing this out, we can also just open up a bracket, click the name of the animation in the library here, then close the bracket. A third way to do this is to simply type in the name of the animation, and this drop-down box here will bring up a list of suggestions as to what it thinks you're trying to type, and you can click that and it will automatically fill in the rest of it, saving you the hassle of finishing typing whatever you were typing. Just remember to close that bracket at the end there, which is really important. All three of these ways give you the same result, so just do whatever you find the most natural, because you'll be doing this process a lot as you write your story. Just remember that the opening and closing brackets are essential for this to work, and if either of those are missing, you will get an error. Okay, let's add in animations for the rest of the dialogue. I want Aya to be shocked when she says, "Are you serious?" So I'm going to use the talk startled neutral animation, I think. And then I think I'll use the talk confused mind blown one for this next part. And I want Secretary to be amused by Aya's reaction, so I'll have him do a laugh chuckle, I think. Now this isn't technically a talking animation, but he does open his mouth, so it kind of works, and I think it should look okay. The only other thing I might want to do in this scene is have Aya do some kind of cheer or dance to celebrate, so let's have a look at the animations again. If I go up here, I can minimize Secretary's and open up Aya's. And there's one right here that's called Cheer Happy Loop. Great, that should do the trick. Now since I want Aya to perform this action without saying anything, I'll need to write it slightly differently. It's going to be at Aya, then the word is, and then the animation name. So Cheer Happy Loop. So the @ symbol is present here because it's a command rather than dialogue. And you'll also notice that the animation name does not have brackets around it here, which is very confusing, I know. So there has to be brackets around animation names when they're part of a dialogue speech bubble, and there has to be no brackets when you want the character to perform the animation without having any speech at the same time. I know this is really confusing, but if you mix these two up, it just simply won't work. Okay, let's take a look at this now. Brilliant, that is looking exactly as I want it. So that's the basics, guys. I know this might look a little daunting and it's difficult at first to remember where and when you should put @ symbols and brackets and stuff, but the more you practice, the more you'll get the hang of it, and eventually it will become second nature. If you have any questions about any of this, please post them down in the comments below. If I can't help you, someone else might be able to, and if you see anybody in the comments asking a question that you know the answer to, it would be awesome if you gave a quick reply just to help them out. We've made an awesome community of writers helping other writers here on YouTube, so thanks so much for being a part of that. Okay, I really hope this has helped you get started. If you'd like further help or resources on writing for episode, I strongly recommend you check out my website, which is www.episodelife.com. There's loads of stuff on there to help you out, including these tutorials in written form, with bits of code that you can copy and paste into your script as examples. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video.